SE 1515 Brief Introduction. EDAN SE 1515 is a PC-based ECG workstation that works in conjunction with ECG sampling boxes. It provides efficient access to diverse clinical applications, including ECG sampling, ECG data management, and ECG network gateway. The latest version of SE 1515 provides enhanced workflow of ECG acquisition with unparalleled accuracy. Through its seamless connectivity with the EDAN ECG machine, it organizes and streamlines the flow of cardiac clinical information. As a network gateway, SE 1515 bridges a solid bidirectional communication between your EDAN ECG machines and information system, making it easy to transmit the ECG record to his EMR, PACS, and to download patient information to ECG devices. The SE 1515 package will typically include an ECG cable, ECG electrodes, sampling box in wired or wireless configuration, connection cable for sampling box, installation disk, installation guide, and user manual. Also, an extra Sentinel dongle will be included in order to activate the Stress ECG function if you have ordered it. To have the software installed in your computer, please refer to our installation guide and carefully follow the procedures. It is worth noting that a separate driver will need to be partitioned in advance in order to install the SE 1515 database. When you initiate the SE 1515 software for the first time after installation, an initial setting window will be displayed. Modify the hospital name, lead mode, and lead sequence according to the corresponding information. Press the OK button to enter the main interface when you finish the customization. Six main buttons will then be displayed on the toolbar when you enter the main interface. Press the New Patient button to enter the patient info and generate the new ECG examination. The Stat ECG button allows you to directly enter the sampling screen associated with resting ECG. Use the Archives button to inspect the database of historical ECG data and patient orders. It is possible to import data from an external storage source to the database or export the existing data into different formats in Archives. Statistics will get you to the detailed statistical information of the ECG exam. It also calculates the workload of departments, staffs, and operating devices. Educational Review Record helps you review the typical ECG waveform when it comes to teaching or case study. You may enter the Archives option, right-click the record you want to classify, choose Collection option, and modify the ECG type. This allows you to review the record in Educational Review Record later. Detailed system setup can be configured in Setting option. There are 7 tabs in the System Setting window dedicated to different modifications. Only after the HL7 and DICOM function has been activated will DICOM setting and HL7 setting tabs be available. Further elaboration for the Setting option can be found in SE 1515 User Manual. Performing a typical resting ECG examination. Power on the sampling box. Connect the ECG electrodes to the ECG cable, and then connect the cable to the sampling box's corresponding port. Carefully connect the ECG sampling box to the computer via USB cable. Make sure the power indicator illuminates. Should you choose to use the wireless sampling box, please make sure an effective Bluetooth connection has been built in advance. Manipulate the wireless sampling box, enter Menu, Match Device, and search for the receiving client. Choose Select to build the Bluetooth connection. Should you choose to use the wired sampling box, connect the electrodes to ECG cable, and then connect the ECG cables to the sampling box's corresponding ports. Directly connect the sampling box itself to the computer. Initiate the SE1515 software. Click on the New Patient icon to generate a new exam. Modify the exam category as resting, and input corresponding patient information. For those existing patients or patients with reservations, we can click the Order List tab and choose the patient. SE1515 supports the connection to the EMR system or DICOM modality worklist server, which allows you to download the reservation information into SE1515 order list. Order list can be activated in Setting, Basic Setting, List Setting. Double-click the patient in the list to enter the sampling window. Or utilize the search option to find the patient. Starting from the same point where you previously left off, enter the Setting option and configure the sampling box module as well as the port number. This information can be found from your device manager. If you enter the device manager of your operating system, the specific details of the port number will be displayed in the device list. After successfully entering the examination interface, attach the ECG electrodes to patient and acquire ECG waveform. You may manually adjust the filter or amplitude settings until you get a satisfactory waveform to display on screen. Press the Start button to initiate the sampling procedure. After a 10-second sampling period, you may enter the analysis interface, which allows you to perform further actions like diagnose, export, save, and print. In the analysis window, SE1515 will automatically present the ECG waveform, detailed information, and diagnosis conclusion on screen. In the waveform option, SE1515 allows you to modify the speed, amplitude, display format, and lead order. Drag the slider to determine the position of the waveform and manually modify the measurement as well as the conclusion according to the doctor's judgment. Associating input and shortcut keyboards streamlines the workflow of the conclusion modifications. Meanwhile, you may also press the Reanalyze button to regain the auto-conclusion. ECG average templates and rhythm waves can be checked in Average Templates and Rhythm options respectively. You may also check QTD measurements, FCG and HF ECG accordingly by choosing their tabs. Press the OK button at the lower right corner to confirm the modification. Click the Preview button and check the layout of the report in advance. Meanwhile, we can also configure the information to be printed on the report in the Setting option. Click the Preview button and check the layout of the report in advance. To get the final report, click Print to have the report printed via the default printer, which can also be configured in Setting, Other Setting, Printer option, or click Save button to export the report in a different format as you wish. Receiving the data from ECG machine. Needs transmission function activated. The transmission function of SE1515 helps to network your ECG machine with the ECG data management system, providing a cost-effective ECG networking solution to interdivisions of hospitals. Construct a connection between ECG machine and SE1515 using an Ethernet cable and Ethernet switch. Next, enter the transmission setup on the ECG machine and configure the IP address setting respectively. Configure the server IP, gateway, and subnet mask on ECG machine to the same IP configuration as on the SE1515. Make sure that the first three columns of the local IP address match the first three columns of the server IP as well. The last column of the local IP should be different and unique from any devices that are connected to the same local network. Finally, configure the transmission mode as Ethernet. A more detailed explanation of IP settings and configurations can be found in the user manual of the ECG machine. Modify the device number of ECG machine to 1 in transmission setup. After that, please enter the file setup option and configure the file format as DAT. Disable all antivirus software and firewall in computer in advance, and make sure that a successful connection between SE1515 and ECG machine has been built. Enter the File option and use Select option to choose the specific record you want to transfer, and press Transfer button to initiate the transfer procedure. To confirm if the data has been successfully transferred, you may check the patient data in the archive of the SE1515 by modifying the patient filter. Different types of patient data will then be displayed on screen accordingly. Double-click the record to enter the analysis window and generate the official report. Apart from receiving the existing data from the ECG machine, SE1515 can also bridge the information connection between the ECG machine and the hospital information system. Patient orders can be downloaded to the SE1515 from the information system. The orders downloaded from the information system will be stored in order list. On the ECG machine, enter the order option and press the load button in order to download the orders from the SE1515. Afterwards, select the patient you need to examine and enter the sampling window. After sampling for a 10-second period, the ECG data will be stored in the ECG machine memory. This allows you to upload the data to the SE1515 for further diagnosis as mentioned previously. Should the auto transmission function be activated, the ECG record will be automatically uploaded to the SE1515 when the sampling procedure has finished. You may activate the auto transmission feature in the ECG machine via Menu, Transmission, Auto Transmission. Thank you for watching this video.